Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I normally make tutorials in photography to help you take better photographs, but my wife and I moved to Thailand recently and we're in quarantine. So I thought I'd show you what quarantine was like and how the Thais do it properly. Now, if you've come here for photography tutorials, you might want to skip this one. I've got a link in the corner and in the description to a playlist on some of my photography tutorials. So we recently moved from Dubai to Bangkok and we're on around about our 10th day of quarantine. It has been quite tricky and the cabin fever is kicking in a little bit. We had one COVID test when we were in Dubai before we flew.
Thank you, sir.
Then we had the second COVID test 3 days into quarantine. We just had our third test. It's a swab in the back of the throat that kind of makes you gag a little bit, and then a swab up the nose, and it feels like they're tickling your brain. We got them all done, and we're COVID free. If you are going to be coming back to Thailand or moving to Thailand and going into quarantine, I've got a few tips for you a little bit later on in this video, so keep watching. For the first 3 to 4 days before that first test, we were in our room for 24 hours a day. We do have a TV, we do have our own ensuite bathroom and our own bed and a little bit of a sofa, but it does get a bit annoying seeing those same 4 walls 24/7. We wake up around about 7 o'clock just before breakfast. Breakfast arrives on the table outside, then we eat. After passing the first COVID test, we get to go to the terrace for some fresh air. As always in Thailand, the staff are really friendly. After all, it is the land of smiles. Then we go for a walk on the terrace for a bit of exercise. This has to be the nicest part of the day. We actually get out, get some exercise, and then we play cards and also play a bit of Bananagrams. Bex takes it seriously. I don't. And then it's just back to the room. Lunch arrives at around about 12 noon and then we eat lunch. Then it's just a case of staving off the boredom by watching TV, doing some work on the laptop, relaxing on the bed, relaxing on the balcony, watching more TV, a bit of grooming, reading a book, having a cup of coffee, having a shower, doing some exercise, and watching even more TV. Then dinner arrives. Obviously we eat dinner. And we do more of the same until it's time to go to bed. It does get monotonous through the day and we're ready to leave, but it is quite an experience. Now this video is just a little bit of fun, but I wanted to show you what it's like day in, day out in quarantine for 14 days. We weren't that well prepared for it, but we did bring a few things. When you first get here, you'll be eating out of plastic bowls with plastic knives and plastic forks. So if you've got room in your luggage, pack a plate, a bowl, a cup, and some cutlery if you can. There's nothing worse than getting a takeaway dish of food and having to eat it out of that takeaway bowl. It's all right every now and then, but if you have to do it for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, it's really not nice. We got sick of it, and when we had that first test and when we passed it, we were then able to eat off plates and cutlery and have normal bowls and cups. But those first 4 or 5 days, it really did drag on. When you're at your airport of departure, before you fly, make sure you pick up a load of sweets and treats, especially if you've got a sweet tooth. We did this and it was fantastic and it really has helped us. Just to have that odd snack or that odd treat once a day has really helped us get through the days. And don't think that you can get any treat at the airport or when you're driving to the state quarantine place that you're staying at. It's a bit of a military operation, and they're super efficient. They'll guide you all the way through, you'll have seats to sit on, they'll check all of your paperwork probably 2 or 3 times, and it really is a military operation because they do take you through and it's nothing like we've ever done, and we've flown quite a bit. One other thing to bring as well is hand washing powder for your clothes. You can wash them in the sink because the hotels do offer a laundry service but it's quite expensive. Now, one thing we did bring was an Amazon Fire Stick. And this is fantastic. We just plugged it in the back of the TV, and it's meant that we've had Netflix, Amazon TV, Spotify, and lots of other things. This has really helped pass the time. And even though it sounds quite lazy, after quite a stressful 2 months of actually being able to get here, it's nice to be able to relax and actually use this time as a bit of downtime and a bit of time to recuperate and recover. Some other things to remember are sweeteners, deodorant, slippers or socks if your feet are big. They do have slippers here, but my feet are way too big for them, so I could have done with my own slippers, even though that makes me sound really old. Also, if you're in your room with your wife or husband, it's worth bringing along a pack of cards and maybe Bananagrams and Pass the Pigs, or any kind of small travel games like these. We have all three and we've used them a lot. And one other thing, you've probably got them already, but it's worth having a decent pair of headphones. You never know how noisy your neighbours are going to be and you're stuck in your room. So it's nice to be able to plug those headphones in and kind of zone out from the real world for a short time. And before I forget, a jar of coffee is really good. We picked that up at the airport and it's been fantastic. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you're in quarantine at the moment and you might think of something that I haven't thought of that might help, also leave a comment below. It'll be great to hear your thoughts. Also, if you're in quarantine and you have a camera with you, but you haven't had the chance to use it, you've got lots of time now. So I'll link some tutorials here and down here. So try them and see if you can learn something more to take better photographs with your camera. And if you like those tutorials or you like this video, be sure to subscribe for weekly tutorials. I'll see you next time.